Hi everyone! For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Mary Carmen and welcome to my first YouTube video. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing this look right here, and this is my go-to glam, I want to say. It's basically what I mean by go-to glam is just like when I'm going out somewhere and I'm not sure what to do with my makeup, or I'm not feeling very inspired to create a whole new look, or I'm just kind of in a time crunch, this is usually what I do. So yeah, if you guys want to know how I got this look, just go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so to get started, I did just go ahead and do both my eyebrows, and I also did do my left eye. I'm gonna go ahead and take my Tarte concealer, and I am in the shade Light Medium Sand. I'm just gonna go ahead and dot it on my eye. And then taking this fluffy brush, which is a Real Techniques brush, I'm just gonna go ahead and buff it out. Okay, and once that's done, I'm just gonna go ahead and take my Jaclyn Hill palette, which is what I use to create this look. And first I'm gonna be taking this mauve pink shade right here, and I'm going to be taking that on a very fluffy brush. And what I'm gonna do first is just pack on the color onto my crease, and I'm not gonna worry about blending it out right now. Right now what I'm just gonna focus on is packing that color onto my crease area. And I'm just going to keep packing on until I feel like I have enough color. Without picking up any more product, I'm just going to be using whatever's left on the brush and just lightly buff out the edges so it doesn't look so harsh. And you don't have to worry about it being perfect. Just take your time and with very soft motions, just blend it out. And then once that's done, I'm just going to be taking this smaller fluffy brush, and this is a Sonia Kashuk brush, and I'm going to be taking this color up here. Then I'm just going to be buffing out the edges just so it blends in a little nicer and it's just a little bit more seamless. And then once that's done, I'm just going to be taking a brush like this. It's just a very like dense packing brush, and I'm going to be going into this brown shade right here, and then I'm just going to focus that in my crease, and then I'm just going to pack the color in there. Don't worry about blending. I know it's going to look messy, but it's just to get the color pigmentation in there. And then once you like how it looks, going back into that Sonia Kashuk brush, I'm just going to go ahead and buff it into the other two colors. And then just go ahead and take your time with it. And always go in with really light circular motions. You don't want to go in heavy-handed, because you will end up doing is either one, dusting off literally all the eyeshadow you just did, or two, sometimes you'll have like random patches. So just be very gentle and take your time. And then once you think it looks okay, if you think at all that you did end up losing some of the color and it's not as strong as it was before, you can always just go back and pack on a little more. And then again, you can just blend it out again. And you can repeat that as many times as you want. Sometimes I do have to repeat those two steps a couple times just to make sure it looks really nice. And then once that is done, I'm going to be going back with my Tarte concealer, and I'm just going to apply some on the back of my hand. And then taking this flat brush, you could use any flat brush. I don't even know what brand this is. It's pretty old. And what we're going to be doing is just cutting the crease. And what I mean by cutting the crease is where your eye naturally folds, like the natural fold of your eye, you're basically going to be tracing that. You'll see what I mean. what I like to do is go a little bit above my natural fold of the eye, because if you go right into the fold, when you look straight ahead, it's gonna get lost. Like, notice how on this eye, when I'm looking straight at the camera, you can still see the sharp line. If you do it a little bit above the crease, it'll just look a lot nicer. And also since I have very tiny eyelid space, it just makes my eye look a little bit bigger, so that's why I like doing that. And then just take your time creating the crease. And then I'm gonna be going into this shade right here. It's like a champagne color. What I like to do, just so the shimmer shade looks a lot more shiny and not just powdery, is I take a spray. You can use any spray. I'm just using the Pixie Hydrating Milky Mist and just spray it on. You can even use water, honestly, but this was just at hand. And then picking up that shade, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it where I applied the concealer. And then once that is done, I'm gonna be going in with this just small kind of fluffy brush, and I'm going to be picking up some of this dark purple color. Something very important to note is I'm only gonna be keeping it right in the outer corner of my eye. I'm not gonna drag it out. I'm also not going to be blending with this brush. So just try to focus it in the outer corner, in the very outer corner. Notice how I'm not even moving it. I'm just literally stamping it in the same spot. And then to blend it out, I'm gonna be taking a small fluffy brush and then just buffing it out. And then if you feel like you lost some of that dark shade, like I feel like I lost some of it, I'm just gonna go back, pick up some of that color, and then just pack it on. And then once you're happy with that, taking that same little fluffy brush and going back into that color we used previously, that brown color, I'm just going to be picking up a tiny amount and just applying it where the shimmer and the dark purple shade meet, just to blend it out and it doesn't look like a shimmer and a straight line cut into that dark purple. And then once that is done, basically I'm done with the eyeshadow. I'm just going to be taking a liquid eyeliner, and I'm just using this black liquid liner by Essence. Normally I use the L'Oreal Felt Tip just because it's super easy and it's a really nice dark black eyeliner and it's very matte. But I had an incident the other day and I was trying to do my makeup in the car, and the eyeliner, like, I don't know what happened, but it like exploded everywhere, got all over my fingers, all over my hands, and it was a mess. So this was just an easy backup, and this eyeliner is actually really nice. I don't remember where I got it. I want to say it was CVS, but don't take my word for it. But if you do see it, I recommend. It's very, very matte and dark. Okay, and once that is done, I'm just going to be applying some eyelashes. The eyelashes I will be using are the Lily Lashes, and these are in the style Mykonos. What I do first is just glue on the center part, and then I take my tweezers and then I attach the outer corner and then the inner corner. But I always glue the middle part first, just to kind of place where I want the eyelash to go. And then taking the tweezers, I just basically pinch my eyelashes with the false eyelashes just to make sure they're really stuck on there. Are these lashes so pretty? Okay, and once that is done, I'm just going to be going back in with my gel liner, and in case you were wondering, I'm using the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil, and I'm going to be applying that on my upper waterline, upper lash line. Okay, and then I'm just going to be taking some mascara. I'm using the It mascara, and I'm just gonna stamp the mascara wand right where my lash line is. I'm not gonna be like combing my eyelashes because I don't want to mess up the false eyelashes. I'm just stamping it on right where the where my lash line is, just to like stick my eyelashes with the false eyelashes. Okay, so to start off with the face, I'm just going to be taking my Pixie Hydrating Milky Mist, and I'm just going to be applying that all over my face. I'm just letting that set. Okay, and once that is done, I'm going to be taking my Cover FX Blurring Primer. And I'm going to be taking just a little bit and applying that where my pores, where I feel like my pores are the biggest, which is right here, and then also on my nose. And then once that is done, for the rest of my face, I am going to be applying the NXN Flash Matte Perfecting Primer, and it just looks like this. And I'm just going to be taking just a little bit. I'm not going to be taking too much. And just applying that to the outer parts of my face and on my forehead as well. Okay, and once all those primers are set, I'm just going to be taking this color correcting concealer, and it's just in like an orange shade. And I'm going to be applying that right underneath my eyes. And the reason I'm doing that is because lately my under eyes have just been very dark. And I'm just going to be blending that in. And then since I do have a few breakouts, as you can see over here, and you know, a little bit of redness over here, so on my forehead, do you guys see this? Ridiculous. I'm gonna be taking a green color correcting concealer and just applying it on the spots that are a little red, and then by my nose gets super red. Okay, and once that is done, once I'm fully color corrected, I'm just going to be taking my foundation, and I'm using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. This is one of my favorite foundations at the moment, and I am in the shade Fawn. And I'm just going to be taking some on the back of my hand. I just hate that this foundation doesn't have a pump, but it's so good, so I don't even mind. You don't want to smear your foundation with your wet beauty sponge, just because it will literally just rub it off. What you want to do is just kind of stamp it on. And once that is done, I'm going to be going back in with my Tarte concealer, and like I mentioned before, it's in the shade Light Medium Sand. And then I'm just going to be applying it under my eyes. I have two eyes. Some on my nose, on my chin, and on the forehead. And once everything is fully blended out, I'm gonna go ahead and take a powder, and I'm just using the Maybelline Fit Me powder in the shade Fair Light. I'm just gonna be applying some into the lid and going back in with my beauty blender, just blending it in one more time. And then I'm gonna take some of the powder and then just stamp it on under my eye area. Taking a fluffy brush like this, picking up just a little bit and dusting the excess off. applying that to the other parts of my face where I didn't just bake. And then just dusting it off. Ooh. And I'm also going to be just dusting out my chin and my nose, but I am going to be leaving the under eye powder for the simple purpose that I'm going to be doing the eyeshadow underneath my eyes right now, and in case there's any fallout from the brushes, I don't want like purple eyeshadow to land on my eyes and then I'm not going to be able to like dust it off. So going back into the GLAM Help palette, I'm just going to be taking that first color we used, that like mauve pink shade, and then going in with that small fluffy brush. I'm just gonna be applying that under both my eyes. And then grabbing just a small brush like this, super tiny, I'm gonna be going into that dark purple shade we also used. Just picking up a little bit and then just applying that on the outer part of the lower lash line. I'm not gonna be taking it all the way in. I'm just gonna be applying it on the outer portion just so it stays bright. Like the eye just stays bright in the inner corner and just kind of goes to like a dark smokiness. Okay, now we can take that fluffy brush we used earlier and just dust off all the powder. Okay, and I'm just going to be taking that same It mascara I used earlier and applying that. Oh my god, my shirt. Okay, and applying that to the lower lash line. This is probably one of my favorite mascaras, especially for the lower lash line, just because I feel like I have the tiniest itty bitty lashes, especially on my bottom lash line. I feel like I have 3 eyelashes, and this mascara does wonders. Like, okay, and then going back in with the Urban Decay gel liner, I'm going to be applying that in my waterline, but again leaving the inner part empty. I'm not going to be touching it, just applying some to the outer part. And then for contouring, I'm just going to be taking my Anastasia contour kit, and I'm going to be taking this shade right over here and also mixing it in with this shade right here. So I'm going to be taking these 2 shades, and I'm just going to be taking this kind of small fluffy brush, and this is a Luxie brush, and it's the 660 Precision Foundation brush. I use it for contouring. I'm just going to be picking up both those shades and just going really lightly. And always start with a little bit, because you can always add more, but it's kind of hard to take off once it's already there. Like that. I'm just going to be taking some blush, and I'm using this mini NARS blush, and it is in the shade Galu, and just on this bigger fluffy brush, just taking some and just and then once that is done, I'm gonna be highlighting, and I'm using again another mini. I'm using this Fenty Beauty highlighter, and it is in the shade Hustler Baby. And I'm gonna be taking this small fluffy brush, and again just taking some spray and just going in. And then a little bit on my cupid's bow, and then with my finger I can get it in there without messing it up. Taking some on the very edge of my nose and also right on there. And then with whatever is left on the brush, without picking up any more, just lightly dust my temples, just so the entire face looks glowy. And then also taking a just like a little small flat brush with that same highlighter, I'm just gonna be applying it to the inner part of my eyes. Okay, and once all of that is done, I'm just gonna be taking some face mist, and I am using the Tarte Ready Set Radiant Skin Mist, and just going to town. Okay, and then last but not least, once we're done with everything, I'm just going to be taking lipstick, and I am using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Gloss, and this is in the shade 316 Statement Nude. Okay, and that is the completed look. But I hope you guys enjoyed. This is the final look. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos.